In this tutorial, we're going to learn how to create a rotoscope image. All right, that's an image where all the colors have been converted into three or four basic shades of the same color. All right, now what you need to do is you need to find a good photo, preferably a portrait that has a good image. All right, has a lot of contrast. I picked this picture because John Cena's felt relatively recognizable, and this is a really dramatic photo with a lot of contrast between the light and the dark parts. One of the things you need is you need to make sure you have a very high contrast image. So I'm going to right click, I'm going to copy this picture, and then I'm going to close that down, and I'm going to go to File, New, and I'm going to open up an image in Photoshop, and I'm going to paste this in. I'm sorry, in Adobe Illustrator, and I'm going to paste that. All right, so there it is. Now the first thing I want to do is I'm going to be constantly selecting this image if I'm not careful, okay? So, well, I do need to adjust it. I'm going to apply a filter to it so that it does a lot of the work for me, okay? And the way you do is you go to Filter, and we're going to go into Artistic and Cutout. All right, and that brings up this page. All right, and under Cut It, you notice that has already gone a long way to simplifying it. I'm going to try simplifying it a little more. I'm going to go with 3 levels, which actually seems to do a pretty good job. I'm going to decrease the edge simplicity a little bit. That's a little bit. I want it to be fairly smooth, and then I'm going to increase the edge, actually decrease the edge fidelity. Let's go with 1. All right, and that's actually a pretty good image. That actually works pretty well for me for what I want to do. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go OK, and that now converts this image into a 3-color image. Now the first thing I need to do in order to make sure that I don't wind up clicking it constantly, I'm going to hit Lock, Selection, and that means I can no longer select it by accident. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a fill. I'm going to use a pen tool, but I'm going to have a fill of right now of nothing and a stroke or a stroke of, we'll go with, why don't we actually go with black for now. All right, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to start working on creating the rotoscope image. All right, now the easiest way actually of doing this is to do the darkest or the smallest section first. So I'm going to start right here around his eye. Now I'm going to tell you something else that you guys never do, which really aggravates the heck out of me, is I'm going to zoom in with this guy, and I'm going to just, by zooming in, that means it's a lot easier for me to find what I need to trace. I'm going to take the pen tool, and I'm going to trace out this little section here. Now, what you don't want to do is you don't want to click on every single little, you need to be reasonably faithful to the image. All right, actually, I need to undo that last one. You need to be reasonably faithful to the image without necessarily getting every nook and cranny. That's where the artistic sense does have to come in a little bit, is you have to decide what is important to complete the image and what parts you can delete and not feel bad about. Alright, so there we go. I'm going to keep on doing this image. I'm going to try to do as few points as possible so it's more or less of a straight line. Remember, you want to go back and click on the anchor point if you want to change direction, and boom. Alright, so there we go. Now we go View, Fit in Window, and we've got that one little guy done already. All right, and what I'm going to do just to make this a little bit more interesting, I'm going to take the eyedrop tool and I'm going to select this color here, and I'm going to make it that color. Okay, that color, and I'm going to stroke with a dark color just so this shows up. Eventually I'm going to change these colors. All right, but that's the first part. Now I probably want to do the same thing over here where the other eye is, so I'm going to zoom in. And I'm going to zoom in real tight, and there's that other little piece. And now again, I want to make sure I'm doing it transparent. So I'm going to flip these two guys around, and I'm going to take the pen tool again, and I'm going to say, okay, this is going to be the other eye. So I'm going to go, and I'm just going to try to trace out where the eye is, so it represents where that second further back eye, which is kind of in a perspective thing. Okay. And then once I get it done, I'm going to flip it. View, Fit in Window, select None, And there you go, you got that part. So I'm going to keep on doing this. I don't think you necessarily have to see me do everything, but keep in mind that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep on drawing this. I'm going to shut off the recording for a second. I'm going to I'm going to draw all of these in so you guys can see what the first set of colors is going to look like. All right, so we just keep on going bump, 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 bump. Okay. All right, so just for a second, I'm going to go out of this.